to do that? Why do you think
Yep.
companies are still in this old mindset of like, let's just throw money at scaling sales as opposed to thinking about, okay, how do we scale the insights and conversations that we already have into marketing?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the unfortunate answer is for those that raise money, it's their VCs who are in this sort of outdated model and telling them that, oh, you need to hire AEs and so on. And that's how you scale it up. But the foundational reason is that I think it's an education problem right now. And right now, a lot of companies are basing their growth models on like old frameworks, right? So the two are like the lead waterfall, right, which was popularized by Salesforce. It's the whole idea you need like a lot of SDRs, you use those to generate leads, those filter into meetings, those convert into demos. So I think that's one framework that a lot of people have in mind. And then the second one is like the HubSpot inbound, write a lot of blog posts and use SEO to drive a lot of inbound traffic. So I think those are the two frameworks that people think a lot about and what I hear founders talk about and use as their mental model. And there's still a point where people need to basically wrap their head around like, oh, okay, like it's no longer efficient to hire a lot of SDRs because cold email rates are not what they used to be. It's not as efficient as it used to be to just focus on SEO. It still works, right? But there's a lot more competition and there's a lot of like AI generated content out there. And right now, the big fundamental shift, and I think a way to like frame what has changed in buyer behavior is that number one, if you're selling in B2B, there's a lot more decision makers on the deal, right? So you need to be able to nurture and educate all the different like decision makers in the deal that might not even make it to a sales call, right? And a great way to do that is with content distributed in a channel where they are spending time. So for me, like LinkedIn is a channel where like a lot of key decision makers and stakeholders spend a lot of time. Therefore, it's a good channel to focus on. I think the second thing is that this is actually like pretty commonly understood. Sorry, to backtrack. I think like a big problem right now is that when it comes to thinking about the return on investment on like organic and LinkedIn content, it's really hard for you to put numbers on it like you could on like SEO or this like lead waterfall, right? Like you can see like percentage conversion rates off meetings. You can see like, oh, okay, someone clicked this blog post and then clicked like request demo, right? But this like attribution is a lot murkier for organic content, and wrapping your head around like, okay, you will not see like it's going to be really hard for you to see like immediate requests, requests for demo, requests for your product, but it's almost like trusting the process of if you share with the right customers, like you explain what your product does, how it can help them, and what makes you different from your competitors, and you show social proof in the right channels, then eventually they will come to you. And rambling a little bit here, but one key thing I've been thinking about recently is that this is a process that organizations already do when it comes to the sales cycle, right? If you think about a long sales cycle in a B2B environment, it's I've seen deal cycles that can be like 3 months, 6 months, 12 months. And we never question the value of like the first few touch points in complex enterprise sales cycle, right? We don't go, oh, yo, Sally, the SDR, right? You just cold email this person, you got a reply, but it didn't turn into a sale. Like, why are you doing that? Why are you wasting your time, right? Like, we don't question the value of influencing and educating like a VP of marketing who may be purchasing software even if they don't sign immediately, right? Like we already assign value to that. And I think the big mindset shift is taking that like, okay, we do this across the sales cycle. How can we do this with content before they even come and have a meeting with us? So that's my roundabout way of saying like, what's wrong with the old model and what's different right now in the buying environment that makes this newer content model work.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, it does work. There are lots of companies which are smart about that. You can see some companies like Gong, Metadata historically, Lavender, Hockey Stack, ourselves, we're really trying to figure out, okay, like how do we build like good organic inbound channels and how do we activate essentially employees? Because the end of the day, people want to buy from people
Yeah.
as well. And so I think it definitely works. It's very hard to get a company aligned on it organizationally to make it work. For us personally, like 64% of our inbound pipeline comes from LinkedIn. Largely my LinkedIn,
Yep.
but our entire team is pitching in as well. And I've been doing this for a little over a year and a half. And I will tell you, it takes a lot of consistency and time to make it work. But in the past 2 weeks, I've had 3 CMOs at 500 plus companies just like DM me being like, hey, like I just connected with them. I didn't do anything. I'm not outbounding to them. They just came to me and were like, hey, like I saw your post or we saw something. Can we take a demo? Like I'm putting you in touch with the right person in my company.